like they did, just a quick down and out to Mulligan, or a screen to Gonzalez, or that little delay to Mulligan over the middle,
right,
a la Rocket Ismail, I think made that popular, the middle screen.
Well,
here again, Suburban has chosen to tee it up on one side, not the middle, and they're going to try to punch it away from Mulligan. And Mulligan, you're seeing what Mulligan can do, and sorry, not yet. Sorry, guys. Mulligan hasn't broke to one side or the other yet. Now he is coming to the near side.
So Grigera will tee it up from the left hash mark. And that's exactly what he's doing, kicking it short. Going to give York Catholic good field position. Number 24, Pat Lineball, takes the kick and gets it out close to the 40-yard line. So the Irish will start right there. Chris Gilbert, the quarterback, as we mentioned, an excellent first half, throwing for 137 yards in that first half. 136 was the previous high in a game for the Irish. So as long as they don't go backwards here, they're going to set the high passing total for this season. Tassia and Gonzalez in the backfield. Two wide receivers out to the right, Kohler and Weekly. The pitch back to Gonzalez. Nothing going there. Good penetration by the York Suburban defense. Travis Stewart in there to sort of not really make the tackle, but sort of disrupt the play.
And there we see the quick change, or the halftime adjustment for Suburban. They're going to attack more, take some chances, come in from the corners, maybe a corner blitz here or there, and if it's a running play, all the better.
Right. Loss of a yard on first down, so it's 2nd and 11. York Catholic counters with the shotgun.
Very effective in the first half of the shotgun was Gilbert.
Looking, intended for Mulligan, tipped, and almost, but not quite. Dan Evans had a shot at it. Tell you what, though, a lot of defenders around Mulligan that time.
Yeah, they weren't going to, after being burned for 81 yards in the first half, they're going to try to make sure two people follow him. You can see the throw here, just a little high. And this is really the first time that the quarterback Gilbert for York Catholic has thrown a poor pass out of that shotgun. He's been very comfortable in it.
Back into the shotgun, 3 wide receivers to the right, including Gonzalez, who's going deep. They're going to try to set up the screen, and the ball was tipped a little bit. I think it was underthrown anyhow, intended for Tassia, so it's going to be 4th down.
Tassia had a decision to make. He had to get in the flat. If he just brushes that linebacker who's blitzing, he's got enough time then to turn around and make the catch. Give his quarterback just a little bit more time as well.
York Catholic in punt formation. Chronister and Jackson back deep for the Trojans. High kick takes a York Suburban bounce down there by Eric Bainbridge, number 80. And that was the first York Catholic punt here, as we're just into the 3rd quarter of action. Interesting that the Irish have not had to punt up until this point.
Well, I think they believe they've faced 3 fourth downs in that first half. Tried it every time, only connected on one. And that was a huge play, that 4th and 9 pass that they connected on to score, continue the drive that had their first score. I have to congratulate Coach Bushy, though. I like his change on defense. Come out, attack more.
Right. Now we'll see if they make any changes offensively. Right side. Boy, good surge that time by the offensive line. The left side of that York Suburban line. Dan Evans with the carry, and really just followed his blockers.
Well, that looks a lot like the first drive York Suburban had to start the game. First drive that they had where they scored their field goal, they only threw the ball once. Just mowed York Catholic's line right down.
So maybe the adjustment at halftime is to go back to the ground game for the Trojans. Certainly on first down, it was successful with an 8-yard gain. Here comes Grigera in motion once again.
Run! Power!
Evans dragging tacklers, but brought down right at about the line of scrimmage.
Wow, that's something. As a quarterback and a coach, you love to face a 2nd down and 2 or a 2nd down and 3, and you get it, and then you don't connect on it.
So now faced with really the same situation, only it's 3rd down now, 3rd and 2.
We're going to have to check, too. Is Gregera even in the backfield? Yeah, he is, but he hasn't been called yet.
Right, he was
the workhorse
he
there
was in the slot a couple times. Here he comes. Has a first down, still on his feet. Crosses midfield and down past the 40 took about 5 York Catholic tacklers to bring down Gregera.
Chris, what you do is you just save him for the 3rd down play. That's all you do. You save him, he comes in with fresh legs and nearly breaks one. And again, this is very similar to the first drive that Suburban had. When York Catholic linebackers can't make the play, like right there, Catholic's in trouble. Their secondary isn't all that big, holding on for dear life there weakly, and he does it until he gets help.
1st and 10, the Irish 39. Gregera, second back, has a hole again. Still in the open, might go all the way. And finally knocked, nope, they are going to call it a touchdown.
Ooh, hope the official's all right. Yeah, he's all right.
John Becerro looked like he had a shot at him, but Gregera with the big run for York Suburban, and boy, that was really shades of that first drive, right back to the ground, and York Suburban goes right down the field.
Don't throw the ball.
Right.
And they only threw the ball once in their first drive that got him a field goal, so come out, play smash mouth football. We're bigger than you. Let's try to stop us. They can't. Score it. Real heads up play by Gregera, because that play started inside. He had one block. He could have taken it to the inside, cut it to the sideline, and scored. Nice read. Catholic's probably going to call a timeout here, yeah.
Yep, it is a York Catholic timeout, and boy, you'd think the touchdown right before the half for York Catholic may have burst the balloon of York Suburban, but not that way at all.
2 things. Catholic very conservative, as we said on that first drive, to start the second half. Suburban comes right at him. Blitzed a couple of cornerbacks. 3 and done for Catholic. The punt, and then Suburban goes back to what they did in that first opening drive with the run.
York Suburban lining up for the 2-point conversion. I think maybe that's why York Catholic quickly called the timeout. Interesting, you know, it's 13-9, Joe. Interesting that York Suburban would go for 2 here.
Well, you got to remember, too, you know, you've got a very good field goal kicker, and so why not give him a chance to win rather than tie?
Right. So here we go. Single back. Here comes Gregera in motion. Weinrich, straight drop, looking, has a receiver, but overthrows Matt Stewart. Boy, he had him wide open, too.
I tell you, York Suburban got lucky there because Gregera came in motion, and then he started upfield way too early, but they didn't get the call.
Yeah, middle.
Well, Gregera has turned it up a notch here in the second half. His numbers for the game now, 10 carries for 86 yards in that touchdown run. He had 8 carries for just 33 yards in that first half, and of course with the big gainer there on the touchdown run, just 2 carries but 53 yards here in the second half. Well, the Trojans have put the first points of the second half on the board, and they climb back within 13-9.
Call Gebhardt's Pole Buildings at 633-5950 for a free estimate on a custom designed commercial or residential pole building. Have your building constructed, and if it snows more than 2 inches on Thanksgiving, your building is free from Gebhardt's. Let quality stand for you.
There you see the score, 13-9. And no, that's not 3 field goals. That's 1 field goal and a touchdown. The attempted 2-point conversion failed.
Yeah, Catholic has a botched snap
right
on one of their touchdowns, and then going for 2, and we don't get it for Suburban. And got a game, hey.
Yeah, absolutely. Gregera once again setting up on the left hash, and
Mulligan
back at the York Catholic's deep men. Mulligan and Gonzalez not going to give away which side they're going to, although Suburban hasn't even really kicked the ball downfield toward them. This time they do, and they're going toward Gonzalez's side, who takes it at the 17. Uh-oh, look out! Gonzalez has a seam. Chronister trying to catch him, and he does, or it might have been Zach Jackson who brings down Gonzalez. That Joe Torn, is precisely why they don't like to kick to Gonzalez and Mulligan.
Well, I tell you what, Mulligan put the block on that keyed that run. Mulligan stuck his helmet right in the middle of Matt Schaefer, and Schaefer might be the player who's down injured. Watch this block if we can get it from Mulligan. 21 in your screen. He comes in and he just levels his man, which allows, there he goes, down he goes, and away goes Gonzalez. If Mulligan doesn't make that block, you know, it's a 2-yard return. And that's great. A coach loves to see a guy who can break the big play, but he's unselfish enough that he can make the block to key somebody else. That was just a great block by Mulligan.
Well, we've mentioned the speed of Zach Jackson, and fortunately for Suburban, he was back there because Gonzalez may have been able to take that all the way if there wasn't a speedy defender back there for the Trojans.
Yeah, and Schaefer is the player who was injured for Suburban. He's walking off the field. He got his bell rung. I mean, Mulligan really leveled a block on him. Wow, big plays tonight all around.
I'll say. So now York Catholic deep in York Suburban territory. Pretty much a penalty-free game, only about maybe, I think I remember 2 penalties thus far tonight, and boy, it seemed like the other week we had penalty after penalty every play, and tonight it's been fairly cleanly played.
The only really costly penalty was Suburban was driving for a score, had an illegal procedure, knocked it back, they had to kick a field goal.
So 1st and 10 from the 26. Kohler in motion, the pitch to Gonzalez. But no, that's Mulligan trying to get to the outside. And finally brought down, but York Suburban that time really sealing off the corner on Mulligan.
Big tip-off is when you put Mulligan in the backfield. He's a flanker. You see him in the backfield, you know he's going to get a handoff or a pitch, and that's what Suburban did. They just keyed on him that time. Strung the play out well on that pitch, and there's the stop for a loss.
Loss of 5 in the play, and York Suburban comes out of the gate here in the 3rd quarter. 4 plays, 61 yards on their scoring drive, 1:45 off the clock, and Tomas Gregera with the 40-yard run, and it's a 13-9 game.
Only took 1:45, and yet every play was a run.
Right. 2nd down, 15 for the Irish. Mulligan in motion this time. The quick pitch, the reverse to Mulligan. Oh, they got some blockers. Mulligan trying to cut it back in, gets a couple extra yards. Talk about liking to see guys throwing to blocks. Number 7, Chris Gilbert, the quarterback, was the guy out there leading the way for the Irish.
When you don't have a lot of players, you get to practice everything.
Right.
Everybody goes through the blocking drills. They only have 23 in their squad.
But I know one thing, the York Catholic coaching staff, when they see Chris Gilbert out there blocking, they're probably cringing because their quarterback situation, he is the guy.
Well, that's why they went to the shotgun a couple of weeks ago, because their backup quarterback quit. See, just, again, good decisions by Mulligan. Mulligan looking to the outside, then coming inside.
Gilbert, the down and out. Complete, and a nice pass. And a good catch by Weekly.
I'll tell you
Pretty
what,
good coverage that time.
I like Weekly, though. He doesn't get as much ink. He doesn't get as talked about as much as Mulligan. He's not as quick. He just catches the ball.
Right.
He made a real big 4th down catch on York Catholic's first scoring drive. There, simple down and out. He's not going to do anything exciting. Fakes his man, turns around, catches the ball.
Well, we have another 4th down here, Joe. It's 4th and 4. York Catholic going for it once again deep in Suburban territory. Gilbert, the rush is on, looking to the corner of the end zone. The coverage is there and knocked down, and wisely so. Good play, good thinking that time by Drew Chronister. Better for him to knock that ball down and let York Suburban take it over on downs.
I don't know about that call. You know, it's 4th down. You only have 4 yards. Why not get the first down? They went for the whole thing there, and maybe they saw something up in the booth there. Mulligan could beat his man, but that time the safety Chronister just came over and gave him good weak side help.
Once again, Suburban had a guy on the outside blitzing, sort of pressuring Gilbert, rushing his throw. So York Suburban takes over definitely have the momentum. The fake reverse. Gregera has the corner. Oh, man, talk about putting your head down. Rock'em sock'em football there.
And guess who was also there? Weekly was there, and also Gonzalez. You know, early on, Gonzalez had a how do you do to Gregera. When Gregera was playing linebacker, Gonzalez had the ball.
Man, that one was, and York Suburban. This is helmet to helmet. John Madden would drool at this one.
Yeah, he'd be oohing and on. But this is Division II. You know that you don't have a lot of quickness. Boom, right there, right into Weekly, and then Gonzalez comes over and helps out. Good gang tackling by York Catholic. It's just came 10 yards past the line of scrimmage. Gregera's showing me something here. I really thought that Suburban would come out and look to pass with their strong quarterback.
Right.
But Gregera is really picking up the slack here in the second half.
Yes, he has, and he gets 8 yards there on first down. So once again, York Suburban in great position, 2nd and 2. If they want to try to go up top, maybe go deep with Jackson. We haven't seen him here in the second half yet. And you gotta have a feeling that York Suburban wants to try and get the football in his hands one way or another.
Well, they're only down by 5. We're approaching the midpoint of the third quarter. No, my math is wrong. They're down by 4. Sorry, but good things can happen still. Plenty of time.
Gregera looking for a hold, keeps the legs turning, but not much room that time. Good job defensively, Max Fink, another sophomore on the York Catholic side this time, makes the tackle.
Big call here. You know, 3rd down. You've had the momentum. You scored first here in the second half to bring your team back in. What do you do here? Gregera has been having some success from the tailback spot. Do you go with him, or do you look to change things up and pass?
They've gone to the left most time. Here they go again. Gregera spots the hole up the middle and has a big first down. Man, he runs hard too.
Oh, I tell you, Tom Weekly, the safety for York Catholic, he's happy that tomorrow's the weekend. Because get some Epsom salts, fill the tub, because he's going to be bruised. Gregera's putting some tattoos on him.
Now this play was designed to go to the left, Joe, but watch Gregera right there, sees the hole up the middle.
Well, and that's the pursuit of the linebackers of York Catholic, over-pursuing. They really look to go to that right side, and then Weekly's got to make another catch.
Gregera, right side this time. York Catholic stands him up right at the line of scrimmage.
Uh-oh. Gregera's hurt. Oh, this would be a really big blow for Suburban, because Gregera's been playing a solid linebacker. He's really played well here in the second half at running back.
The ironic thing, Joe, is that didn't look nearly like the punishing kind of a play that the last couple we've seen Gregera take on have.
Yeah, you would have thought someone got hurt on the last couple ones. Maybe not him, but...
Right. Yeah, this is something York Suburban can ill afford right now. They have really come out on the ground game here in the second half.
And we talk about how young they are. When you're young, you don't have much depth. Gregera, you see a good shot of the man who hails from Argentina, playing American football, not soccer.
Not football.
Yeah.
13
it looks
carries.
like he's gonna be all right. That's
13
good.
carries, 107 yards for Gregera, and maybe a little wobbly there as he's really taking some shots in this drive.
He'll be
actually
back.
Dishing out some shots.
He'll be back.
So it's no gain on the first down play. It's going to be 2nd and 10, and now with Gregera out, does York Suburban go back to Weinrich and try and throw the ball again?
I don't think they know what they're doing. You see the lineman saying, what's the play? What's the deal here? And the tight end still isn't sure of the call. You gotta love a tight end who comes out, looks at the running back and says, on what?
Weinrich keeps looking, has all kinds of time, looking down the field for Jackson, and what a great catch by Zach Jackson. I'll tell you what, York Catholic that time, secondary-wise, when we sung their praises the first half, they didn't really follow the ball that time, and Jackson stepped into the picture and made a nice catch.
Well, you had Jackson coming the whole way across the field, and you had another player going for just a straight fly. Coming across the field the whole way was Jackson. As you'll see, Botero is following him, and Weekly doesn't turn around quick enough from his safety spot. See, Weekly comes in there late. because Weekly was following the player down the sideline on the fly. Nice design play.
Gregera's right back in there, sticking his head down again on the left side, and that's where York Suburban seems to be the most successful running, is off that left side, and Gregera picks up 5 yards on first down.
What a difference a half makes. Boy, the first drive, Suburban looked like they couldn't be stopped, and the rest of the first half belonged to Catholic. Now here in the second half, it's been nothing but Suburban.
You got to admit, Joe, that Suburban really is showing us the ability to mix the pass and the run, and Weinrich not having the greatest of nights. Boy, if you hit them on a night when he's on target, with this guy running the football, yeah, they're a good offensive team. There goes Gregera to the secondary and inside the 10.
Rich Kohler had to make the saving stop that time instead of Weekly, but really, again, York Catholic's linebackers are almost over pursuing. They were doing a good job of stopping the run in the first half. Now, no can do.
So first and goal from the 8. The big pass play to Jackson, but the rest of this drive has been on the ground. It's been that guy right there, Gregera. Tries to get it down close to the 5.
You know, on that first down call, just to string the York Catholic defense out a little bit, might have been a nice play to try a pass, just to stretch things out a little bit. You're in the red zone now, and it's so compact that running play might not have worked as well, because the York Catholic secondary is really cheating that time, coming up towards the line of scrimmage.
Boy, everybody in tight, no wide receivers in this set. Full house backfield. Weinrich, I was just thinking about whether Matt Weinrich could maybe get to the corner.
Andy Gonzalez said, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so at all. That was just a play I was thinking about, whether Weinrich could run the football himself, because he's a big guy.
But he doesn't have that much foot speed. You saw Gonzalez really cut him down there. Because you're right, he did have the corner for a second, but Gonzalez cut him down. Timeout Suburban. They're going to have to think about it. This is another big third down call here, because you've got to remember, with Gregera, they do have an excellent field goal kicker. Gregera already has one tonight, but you're down 4. So what are you going to do?
Right. It's a minute 24 to go here in the third quarter. You see Coach Pete Clark vociferously talking to his
no, that's nothing. That's nothing. I've seen him worse. He's just speaking to them now.
Just speaking, okay.
Yeah, he's not yelling or anything like that. Oh, he's winning. So he's still winning. But it's amazing. I would have liked to have seen this game had these two teams not been coming off wins. We talked about how young they are, and they're both coming off of wins, and you can tell that they really have confidence. Gilbert has confidence now. Mulligan has confidence for Catholic. Gonzalez always has. He's been their one veteran. You can see that Weinrich, after having a not-so-good first half, he's playing much better here. Gregera has an excellent second half.
Well, here we go. Third down and goal from the 7. Gregera in motion, and I think he started upfield too soon, Joe. Pass intended for Stewart. It's going to be incomplete.
He did that on the extra point attempt on the first touchdown here in the second half, and it wasn't called. He did the same thing here now in this play, and they got him.
Yep, that's what it was. Gregera started upfield before the snap.
He comes out of that slot position and just wants to start the play too much, and that tells me he's probably the main receiver right there.
On the offense, decline, 4th down.
4th down.
Okay.
Now the call.
Coach Bupp, what do you do here? You kick a field goal, it's almost a gimme.
That's what I'd do. I think that's what I'd do, because I think I'd try and count on my defense and get the football back and get that running game going again. They've been really successful. And another timeout, this time called by York Catholic, and no sign of the field goal attempt by York Suburban.
Well, let's see, it'd be about a 24-yarder. He has one from inside that in the first half.
Each team has used maybe 2 of their timeouts here in the second half already.
That's a close game. Why save them?
I guess, but that would mean there's maybe I think maybe each team only has 1 left. So, boy, still in the third quarter, and timeouts being used up quite a bit here.
Well, these are important plays. I mean, let's face it. Suburban scores here the way York Catholic's offense hasn't been going, could be trouble. Suburban's defense has been playing real well. They've been blitzing a little bit more. The halftime adjustments by Coach Bushy have been really good.
The other thing here, I guess, Coach Bushy really showing some confidence in his defense, feeling as though, hey, if I can't get in here and score here, my defense, I think, can hold York Catholic. So 4th and goal from the 7. Almost think it's got to be a passing down. Weinrich looking, still looking, and finally sacked. 72 Jason Lamontagne with the sack, but that was a coverage sack because Weinrich had time.
Credit Rich Kohler, credit Tom Weekly. While the fade is going on, play action.
Watch the amount of time that Weinrich has.
He's got all
here.
day, but
right.
Rich Kohler and Tom Weekly were the ones who are getting mulled over and trying to stop Gregera. Right now, they're on their receivers like glue, and here comes Lamontagne with the sack.
And that's another case there, Joe, of probably inexperience. Hey, 4th down, you might as well throw it in the end zone. What's the worst thing that's going to happen is an interception, and you're turning the ball over anyhow.
Right.
So 1st and 10 for the Irish from the 13. Gonzalez, head down. Tacklers hanging on for dear life. Pick up of 4. And this is when this guy, especially last year, a couple times we had him. Boy, you get in that 3rd and 4th quarter, York Catholic had the lead, especially last year. I remember this. Boy, just bang with Gonzalez, and he literally almost single-handedly wore the defense down.
Yeah, and he has just enough quickness that if he gets past the linebackers, he can outrun some people in the secondary.
Right.
And that's where he padded in a good way. I mean, he wasn't trying it, padding in a good way with some long runs.
Right. And that play will wind it out for the 3rd quarter of action here. York Suburban really dominated that 3rd quarter, came away with the only score, and they have closed the gap. 3 quarters in the books. 13-9, York Catholic leads the Trojans. Torin. But the last drive they put together was 11 plays, and they came away empty.
Yeah, it should have been more. Definitely should have been more. If anything, maybe a field goal. But Coach Bushy decided to go for it for 4th and goal from the 7.
So York Catholic with 2nd down and 6 as we start the 4th and final quarter. Kohler in motion. Tassia and Gonzalez in the backfield. Gonzalez following behind Tassia, still on his feet is Andy Gonzalez. Could be trouble for the Trojans if that guy gets going.
And how many times have you seen it? Young team, they're near a touchdown, don't get it. And they just sort of fall down a little bit.
Right.
And that's all York Catholic needs with Gonzalez.
Yeah.
If you're down a little bit, he'll make you even further down.
Yeah.
He's a punishing runner.
One of these times, the York Suburban defense is going to be looking at Gonzalez's backside if they're not careful. So 1st down for the Irish. Once again. Boy, some good hitting there. Wilson Tarbert, number 89, in on the play along with Dan Evans.
Nothing fancy from Catholic. It's going to be just off tackle now. Gonzalez right, Gonzalez left. We saw this right before the end of the 1st half. They did it. The only pass was a very conservative one to Mulligan, just a quick out, and Mulligan broke it up for an 81-yard touchdown.
Be interesting to see the call here. I thought maybe they might go into the shotgun at 2nd and 8. Gilbert up under center. Backs are split this time.
Mulligan's not even in the game.
Right. Straight drop, the out, and knocked down once again. Travis Stewart, that's the 2nd time Stewart's gotten up and knocked down a Chris Gilbert pass.
There's the pass play that we talked about. If they're going to be conservative, just a quick down and out in the flat. Tried it, but Gilbert, only being 5'10", couldn't get the ball over the line.
Now I'm looking down the York Catholic side,
Mulligan.
and I don't see Mulligan either. Here you got to look at it, and Stewart, look at Stewart way up there to bat that one down. Good camera work. Sideline cameraman Jim Boer on top of the action. 3rd and 8. And movement by York Catholic, I believe, is going to push the Irish back 5 more yards.
There, I do see Mulligan. There's only about 11 guys on the York Catholic sideline. We did find him.
On the offense, 3rd down.
Mulligan appears to be stretching. I wonder if he has a cramp or something like that.
Yeah.
But then again, you know, if you're trying just to go off tackle, bring in somebody with a little bit more body.
Well, now it's better. Now it's 3rd and 13. Now you need the burner.
Exactly. So you bring him in, but that might have been the thinking on the York Catholic sideline.
3rd down, 13 after the penalty.
Good matchup on the far side. We've got Mulligan being guarded by Zach.
Shotgun, Gilbert, out to Mulligan. Breaks 1 tackle, but can't get enough for a 1st down. How about the tackler, Tomas Grigera?
He's playing a heck of a second half.
He really
is. He's got the only touchdown here in the second half. Playing a good linebacker spot.
Jim Shaughnessy is in punt formation for the Irish. Back deep, Zach Jackson and Drew Chronister.
Only the 2nd punt of the game for York Catholic.
Fair catch handled by Jackson at the 41-yard line, so good field position for the Trojans. 10 minutes and 12 seconds left on the clock, and they trail 13-9. You know, it's really kind of a catch-22 here, Joe. The running game has done pretty well for York Suburban tonight, but throughout the course of the season, it's been the passing game that's really been where they've been successful.
And you look at the clock, and you've got plenty of time left in the 4th quarter, 10 minutes. But how much of that 10 minutes do you want to use? Do you want to run and run a lot of it off, or do you want a quick score here?
Single back, delay, counter give, and that play just hasn't worked all night. 35, Matt Stewart brought down once again behind the line of scrimmage. They've tried that play 3 or 4 times. I don't think they've gotten back to the line of scrimmage yet.
Neither team is having a lot of success with a sweep. More straight on blocking between the tackles, right up the middle. But plays like that take too long to develop.
Stewart brought down for a 1-yard loss. 2nd and 11. Time for us to see Eric Weinrich start to air it out, I would imagine. Play fake, across the middle, has a receiver right at the 1st down sticks. Drew Chronister on the receiving end of the pass.
Just a button hook by Chronister. It was a nice play. Went down, knew where his 1st down yardage marker was, where he almost did. They're going to have to measure, but just turned around wide open. And he did the right thing. Catch the ball first. Don't try to turn it upfield. Just catch the ball.
Right. And they're going to stretch the chains out. It's going to be just short, it looks like.
I thought he knew where he was.
Yeah, about the length of a football, maybe a little more.
And there's a case again where that youth comes into play. The closest person in the secondary was a good 5 yards away.
Right.
All he's got to do is take 2 more steps and then turn around.
Make sure he's got the yardage right.
Yeah, and he's got the 1st down. Those things happen. Excellent protection here. Suburban line really did a good job. Ball a little bit underthrown, and he did the right thing. Go down and get it. Just make the catch. Don't try to turn it upfield.
Well, York Suburban has pounded away on the ground here in the 2nd half. Now they need about the length of a football for a 1st down. Could be Weinrich himself. Nope. Second back, or the fullback rather, is Dan Evans. Looks like he fell forward for the 1st down. Got just enough. Pretty good defensive stand over by York Catholic, but
now we saw this on the last possession for Suburban. Suburban drove the ball inside the York Catholic 10, and then the York Catholic defense held them without a score. See what happens this time.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a little play action here on 1st down, Joe.
That's the time to do it.
Right.
You don't do it on 3rd down or even 2nd down and long. First is when your play action works.
Straight drop by Weinrich, across the middle, and that one slips out of his hands, intercepted down the sideline. is Weekly, and that one just looked like it. I don't even think that's where it was intended. I don't know, but
I think it was, Chris, but I think either your Catholic defender got a hand on it, or you're right, it slipped out of the hands, because that ball was a dying duck from the moment it left its hands. And you know, if anybody deserves an interception tonight, it's Tom Weekly,
yeah,
because he's been getting the helmet of Gregera right in his solar plexus the whole night.
Yeah. So York Catholic with the interception by Weekly, and they have good field position inside of York Suburban territory. The second interception for Weekly.
Second interception tonight, yeah, for Weekly.
So now York Catholic with 8:33 to go. They're marching backwards. Let's see what not sure what the story is.
Yeah,
here.
well, they were debating.
Dead ball foul. Unsportsmanlike on the return. First down.
Now you want to see Coach Clark hot? I wasn't sure if he stepped out of bounds early or what, but that was way after the play.
Yeah.
Way after the play, and you know that I like this call because we got to stop the taunting, and I'm sure that was it. You know,
yeah.
The play was over in front of the York Suburban bench, and somebody might have popped off, and I applaud the official for throwing the flag. You got to stop that right away.
So now it's first and, well, he got it marked off. It's dead ball, so it's first and 25 on the 15-yard penalty. Gonzalez, right side, trying to get outside.
Okay.
87 looked like Donald Himes.
Come here.
Brings down Gonzalez.
Look at the professor at work. He's trying to be stoic now. You know he was hot just moments ago. So he's working that hand, trying to be stoic. You know, camera wasn't there, Coach. Just avoid the camera.
Hey, inside, you know something's gnawing at him.
You get a turnover, and you get a turnover like that. Would have been deep in Suburban territory. Try to big quick play. Instead, you got a first and 25, and your hands are tied.
Right. And flags flying once again, and I think it may be against the Irish once again.
Here was an opportunity for York Catholic to really
Dead ball,
distance themselves.
Illegal procedure on the offense. Second down.
I mean, they get a quick score here. Things might be out of doubt. Now they're still in doubt with only this 4-point spread, and they're doing nothing to help their cause.
Right, and on top of that, they're losing field position, because even if they don't move the football where they were, they could have kicked it and had Suburban pinned deep in their own territory.
Exactly.
The way they're going right now, they're marching toward their own goal line.
Time for Mr. Mulligan. He's here on the near side. Look out.
Gonzalez comes in motion this way. They try the delayed pass to Mulligan, just as you called it, Joe, and that play was a little slow developing. It just didn't look like the timing was real good on that one.
Yeah, it's a slow developing play, because you saw Gonzalez come to this side in motion, and Gonzalez and the other wideout are going to go deep and try to clear things out, and then Mulligan's going to slip behind him. It worked in the first half, and most plays that work in the first half don't work in the second half. I'm sure Coach Bushy diagrammed that one at halftime. See how all the secondary 89 right there for Suburban Tarbert. He stayed at home.
Yep.
In the first half, he followed the people along.
3rd and 29 for the Irish. Straight drop. Looking deep. Nobody there. Intended for Rich Kohler, but well beyond his reach. So it's going to be 4th down.
Nice series there for Tarbert. Tarbert just bumped the intended receiver Kohler just enough to get him off track right before the ball was thrown, and then Kohler had nothing.
So Shaughnessy back in punt formation for the Irish, and Coach Pete Clark paces.
He's worried. He's worried.
He doesn't like what he sees right now, and Jackson and Chronister back deep for the Trojans. Shaughnessy, an end-over-end kick.
Fire him up. Get him going in there. All right, get him.
Touchdown at the 31-yard line by Jason Gladfelder. So the Trojans have it 7-19 to go in the game. York Catholic still leading it 13-9.
Our viewers might have heard somebody say from York Catholic, fire him up, get him going in there. And that's what Coach Clark said to Rich Kohler, who came in. He said, fire him up, get the defense going. I mean, this is the biggest series right now in the game, right here.
1st and 10 for the Trojans. Vergara up through the middle, has a hole, has a first down into York Catholic territory, and he's going to go. Still on his feet. And in for a York Suburban touchdown. I'll tell you what was there? At least, Joe, at least 2 or 3 York Catholic defenders looked like they had their arms wrapped around number 24.
I tell you what, Vergara is just so much stronger now than the York Catholic defense, especially in the secondary. The York Catholic secondary has been taking their hits, and that time they just couldn't hold on long enough.
Right.
Vergara much stronger. It's from all those soccer matches, you know? You ever see those soccer players? They got thighs that rub together, you know? And he just kept the legs going for a touchdown.
No time to rest for Tomas Vergara as he tries the extra point. And there's that little punch. And the punch works. And York Suburban, with 6:54 to go, now leads the Irish 16-13. This is some kind of a run, Joe.
When he gets to the secondary, look out. Again, York Catholic's strength is their linebackers. Linebackers are gone. You don't even see them. Here's the 2 guys in the secondary trying to hold on, The legs keep moving. He's a big soccer player.
Look at that.
3 people. 3 York Catholic people couldn't bring him down, and then he's got enough strength. See ya.
Yeah, I'm about to tell you what, I think about the 15, 10-yard line. He's struggling to get into the end zone. The Catholic defenders catching up to him, but just enough to get in.
But the key there, though, was really the blocking for Suburban knocked the York Catholic linebackers out of the play. If Suburban's line can get to the York Catholic linebackers and get them out, I mean, Vergara against the York Catholic secondary, it's Vergara.
Yep.
Especially this late in the game.
Yep. Well, back and forth, and now York Suburban once again has the lead, and
just an amazing game of tides. In the first half, it was nothing but York Catholic. Second half, nothing but Suburban, with Vergara doing most of the work on the ground.
Right. And Vergara is going to do a little more work as he's going to kick it off once again. This time a little more in the center of the field, Joe. Still a little bit offset to the left of the middle part of the field. And once again, sort of the pooch kick. Oh boy, and I'll tell you, a risky play there as line ball flipped it back to Mulligan, trying to get the speedster to the football, and looked like it almost slipped out of Mulligan's hand.
That is so difficult to do because it was such a high and short kick. And
right.
So, you know, the kicking team's going to be on you before you know it. You know, that's an all right play if you're back further along, but the defense was just there too quickly.
Well, throw out the conservative York Catholic offense now because they need some points.
I don't know, though. You know, with 6.5 left, they can still use Gonzalez to keep the York Suburban defense honest, and then go for Mulligan.
Well, shotgun, Joe. First down. Mulligan, get over there.
Yeah, doesn't know where he's going.
Great drop. The delay. Oh, man, what a hit. There's your man again, Joe. Wilson Tarbert lays one on Rich Kohler.
Tarbert has really played well defensively. Made 2 big plays on the last series, and this one is just a wake-up call.
Well, hey, 1 play, huh? When Vergara runs like that, that's all you need. 69 yards.
He's got to be close to 200. I mean, he has over 100. 198. You know, he has over 100 in the second half alone.
So the Irish, 2nd down and 10. Still in the shotgun. Gilbert across the middle, tip, and almost intercepted. Boy, Tarbert had it in his hands and couldn't pull it in.
You know, Tarbert on defense has been just fabulous, and Vergara on offense. Those have been the 2 keys here in the second half for Suburban. We're going to see Tarbert saying, hello. And Gilbert's just staring down the receiver.
Yeah,
Boy, you love that as a secondary. Because you know who's going to get the ball. Textbook right there.
Rich Kohler had to feel that when the intended receiver as Tarbert laid one on him. So now it's 3rd down and 10. Everybody out wide. 4 receivers wide to the right, looking out, and intercepted.
Guess who?
And I think it's Tarbert. Yes, it is. 89. Boy, he's played quite a second half defensively for the Trojans.
And he's a sophomore.
Right.
Here again, just staring down the receiver. Had to throw the ball up a little bit because the defense got there, and he overthrew his receiver, Gonzalez. Tarbert right there with a very easy interception. And he deserved it because he's been playing real well these last 2 series. And let's face it, York Catholic's going to come to his side. He's a sophomore. They're not going to go to the other side where Zachary Jackson is, who's a junior.
Yeah.
And he stepped up. They're picking on him. He steps up and makes the play.
So now the Trojans, I would imagine, are going to go right back to that ground game. Gregera in motion. The only back is Evans, and he gets the carry. On the right side, picks up about 3. Under 5.5 minutes to go. York Suburban trying to use. But look at him keep going. He's a tough runner to bring down, and he's there awful quick at the line of scrimmage and getting through the hole really before York Catholic defensively can react.
And it's a lot of fun right now when you're a running back with Gregera's size, with Gregera's strength, and your offensive line is controlling things.
Right.
I mean, he can get to the line quickly because the hole's there. He doesn't have to sidestep or anything. 207 yards on 18 carries for Gregera.
Carry number 19, airborne he was that time. About 3 more yards for Gregera.
You have to remember, he had a little bit of the wind knocked out of him at the beginning of the second half. He scores a touchdown. Then we're wondering if he's going to be all right. Comes back strong.
Here he comes again.
It's just textbook Gregera. Make sure he's got the handoff. 2 hands. He knows York Catholic's going to be looking for stripping it. And then, if you don't have it, go down.
Right. 2nd and 7. Gregera gets a break this time. Second back through is Stewart. And he's brought down immediately. Pat Lineball, the tackler for York Catholic. So Stewart with a gain of, call it 1. So 3rd and 6 for the Trojans. 3:40 and counting.
If York Catholic's going to have a chance, this is it. They have got to stop him here. Real big series of down, or real big 3rd down here for York Catholic's defense. Got to hold him here because Gregera's got a good leg. He could still get a field goal off.
Right. And they're going to give it to Gregera up the middle. And almost the entire York Catholic defense brings him down. Looks like it's going to be a little short of the 1st down. And a York Catholic player down on the field. Looks like that may be Jim Shaughnessy.
Shaughnessy's been trying to hold his own there at the end spot. Made a couple of good plays. Check that. It looks like Bainbridge now. Shaughnessy and Bainbridge have been trying to hold their own at the end positions.
3 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the game, and York Suburban holding on to a 3-point lead.
Hi, I'm Governor Bob Casey. I invite you to join the American Heart Association's 3rd annual American Heart Walk. Walks will be held across Pennsylvania in October. For more information on the walk in your area, please call 1-800-AHA-USA-1.
Back at Smalls Athletic Field, and York Catholic player still down the field. Going to be an interesting call here, Joe. 4th down and a short 3. You know, they could be within Gregera's range field goal-wise, but it doesn't appear as though they're looking at that. I think they have the offensive unit in there, and they're going to go for it.
Well, things can happen in that field goal. You know, a bad snap, and then next thing you know, if a player like Mulligan picks it up and takes off, you're not going to catch him. So the way the running has been going, why not take your chances on that?
Right. And
And
who do you
Gilbert's been having some trouble throwing the ball here
Right.
lately for York Catholic as well.
Any bets on who's going to get the ball here?
I need my Swami bandana. I see a G.
I see a 2 and a 4. Oh, no.
I see a flag.
Yeah, I see a flag too, and I think it was York Suburban moving early.
Oh, you hate to see this. I mean, he looked like he was going to get the first down for York Suburban.
Dead ball, illegal procedure, get the offense, 4th.
Oops.
Yeah, that's a big oops. See if it
I think you
changes.
still go with Gregera, but and then hope your defense holds out.
Right.
Because we're under 3 minutes now. This is when you break the huddle and you tell the line, give me one more time.
Yeah.
Do it for me one more, guys.
4th and 8. Weinrich's going to keep it. Looking to throw. Has an intended receiver. It's Evans, but broken up. Nice play by John Zero.
That was dangerous. If Zero has a step more, he gets that pass and he's off.
Right.
Nobody can catch him.
So it turns over on downs. That man, Coach Pete Clark, and his quarterback, Chris Gilbert, have 2 minutes and 37 seconds to go. They trail by 3, and they have about 75 yards to cover.
And it'll be covered quickly if you can get the ball to Mulligan. I look for them maybe to do that delay again with Mulligan. Try to send people long, get Mulligan underneath. Even Gonzalez on a screen or something might be a good call here. York Catholic having some trouble who's in and who's out. First down and 10 for the Irish at the 24, and they're in that shotgun. Mulligan's on the far side. Straight drop back by Gilbert. He's looking to go long on the near side, and the ball's nearly picked off.
Yeah, a lot of deep coverage there by York Suburban.
No, they're playing the safety position. You've got time. I mean, there's 2.5 minutes left. Don't have to get it all at one shot. You know, get 10, 15, especially if you can get in the ball in the hands of Mulligan, because he can make it more.
The other guy we haven't seen out of the backfield as much tonight as I thought we might is Gonzalez. He hasn't caught the ball only but a few times, and I was really expecting to see some more things set up for him to try and get him the football out in the open field.
They tried to go to him a couple times in the last series, but to no avail.
2nd and 10, Irish back in the shotgun formation. Weekly, Kohler split out to the right and looking across the middle, and he has him. I'll tell you what, I was watching Mulligan the whole way, and I was surprised that the York Suburban secondary let Mulligan make the cut inside, and really he was wide open right from the get-go, and Gilbert got it to him.
There again, Chris, when you're in the prevent, you'll let the guy go to the inside because the clock keeps going.
Right.
You want to protect the sideline.
So a first down for the Irish. Gilbert tipped again and almost intercepted. That was Travis Stewart again. That's the 3rd time number 38 has knocked down a Chris Gilbert pass.
And I'm a little bit surprised York Catholic's not doing maybe some kind of rollout. Give Gilbert, even though he's in the shotgun, give him a little bit more time because the defense knows he's going to have to throw. They're pinning their ears, coming right after him. If they could get maybe a little bit of a rolling pocket, just to give him that little bit extra time.
How about a delay to Gonzalez here, Joe? What do you think? I tell you what, it seems like York Suburban's coming very hard.
You've got to do it now because there's about 2 minutes and 30-some seconds left. You'll have time then to get the ball back up on the line and get going.
Straight drop again. Across the middle is Mulligan once again, and he has another first down.
There again, in that prevent, there's an opening. There's a pocket right in the middle. Good job by Mulligan to find it. He took a little bit of a hit. Didn't have those alligator arms that time. He really reached out to get the ball. Nice play by Mulligan.
Come on, Lou. Come on.
Clock down to 2:12. They move the chains, wind up the clock. York Catholic on the move into Suburban territory. Looking deep. Nobody out there, though. Mulligan broke it off to the inside.
You just saw Mulligan put his hands up to his helmet. He knew he made the wrong cut. That one time he was supposed to go to the outside. He's pointing to himself as he walks back to the huddle. He'll come into the picture right now. He pointed himself. He says, "No, my fault, my fault."
Yep. So second down and 10.
Running 8, double fake.
Still 2:03 to go. Remember, York Catholic and York Suburban, we believe, have used 2 of their 3 timeouts, so should be 1 timeout apiece, which could play a big, crucial part in this last 2 minutes and 3 seconds.
And I wonder who the York Catholic kicker is, if he got any legs either.
Well, I think it's Gilbert, I believe.
Yeah.
Second down, Gilbert, the middle, intended for Kohler, but thrown behind him, and a lot of York Suburban defenders in the area.
On the far side, Mulligan's putting his hands up. He was wide open.
Yep.
That was the one time if Gilbert could have looked off his primary receiver, and that's tough. I mean,
Yeah,
especially when you're 5'10", and you got guys 6'2" around you, and looked over to the far side, he had Mulligan wide open that time.
So third down and 10. Right at the midfield stripe.
Here again, it's 2 down territory.
Hey,
Yeah,
Coach,
you can get
Mitchell,
7,
what's
get
out here?
7. You don't have to get the whole 10.
Looking deep. And incomplete. Weekly was there.
Matt Stewart on defense.
Stewart was there, and the ball was
really in both of their hands.
Right.
Either one of them could have
Yep.
had it.
Exactly.
Stewart, all he has to do there is just knock it down. As again, this ball has a lot of arc on it. He's trying to touch pass it. That allows defense, Stewart, to backpedal in good position. You know, if he just knocks that ball down, then it's 4th down. But
Right.
he tries to make the interception, and that allowed Weekly almost to steal it away from him.
Yep. So here we go. Joe, 4th and 10, 1:54. This is probably the game right here. Across the middle and intercepted. And wisely going down with the interception. Check the number 58, Joe Deal. And they just tried the middle with Mulligan once too often.
3 people, as the ball is entering toward Mulligan, you'll see 3 or 4 there. 1, 2, 3, 4 guys for Suburban. There was no doubt who was going to get it. Nice tip drill play there.
Look at
Nice
Joe.
hands.
Look at Joe Deal saying, "Yeah, I'll take that."
Yeah, you knew they were going to go to Mulligan, but that time they were not in their prevent. They were in their normal secondary defense, and they closed down the middle.
So a minute and a half to go, and York Suburban now just going to try and run out the clock. Gregera, why not? Into the secondary, still on his feet. Another great run by Tomas Gregera, just adding to his stats. I'll tell you, that guy has been something else tonight. Has led the Trojans and to what looks like going to be a Division II victory for York Suburban. That would give them 2 in a row. As last week, remember, we mentioned they defeated Kennerdale. When you look back for the Trojans, and they really had a good shot at beating one of the top teams in Division II, Susquehannock, a couple weeks before that, down at Susquehannock. And really had a tough time up at Delone. Sort of goes to show you the youth of this York Suburban team. A tough loss at Susquehannock in week 1 of the league season, 14-7. And that kind of pulled them down a little bit. The second week they go up to Delone and lose 38-8 before bouncing back to win 41-9 over Kennerdale last week. Now this week, what appears to be a big win over York Catholic, as you see Weinrich letting the clock wind down. And he's going to just kneel on it, and that may be enough. May have to run one more play, but York Suburban going to even its Division II record at 2-2. And I think a team that probably some of these contenders, like Littlestown and West York, are not going to want to mess with the Trojans in the second half of the season. A lot of youth, and some of that youth is starting to come together as you see the celebration beginning on the Trojan sideline. And it's a final. York Suburban has defeated the York Catholic Fighting Irish here tonight at Smalls Athletic Field by a score of 16-13. We'll be back with all of our post-game activities in just a few minutes.
There's a place to give it everything, to achieve your...
It is a final here at Smalls Athletic Field. The York Suburban Trojans 16, the York Catholic Fighting Irish 13. And a game that went back and forth. You just see the crowd filing out here at the Meadow. You think back, York Catholic, or York Suburban rather, took the opening kickoff, marched right down the field, ended up with a Tomas Grigera field goal. And really from that point on, in the first half, it was all York Catholic. And then second half came out, York Suburban changed up, made some changes in the locker room at halftime. The defense became much more aggressive, and the Trojans went back to the ground game, and they scored 13 unanswered points in the second half and come away with a 16-13 victory. Well, when you have a guy who has 21 carries for 233 yards, at 2 touchdowns, a point after field goal, and a 26-yard field goal, pretty easy to pick a player of the game. He scored all the Trojans' points. It's Joe Torin down on the field with Tomas Grigera.
With the player of the game, Tomas Grigera, it's no mas for York Catholic when Tomas got the ball at halftime. You guys are down. Things aren't looking good. Just gave up an 81-yard touchdown reception to Mulligan. It looked like they were going to run out the clock, and they break it. What was the feeling in the locker room at halftime? Because something happened in there. You guys turned it around.
Well, we knew we just had to relax, and that's what we did. We relaxed and had fun, and it all connected at the end, so we're happy with what we did, and getting ready for next week now, homecoming.
You normally played soccer. This is only, what, your second year playing American football. You like the switch?
Yeah, I don't regret it one bit. No.
How difficult was the hitting tonight? I mean, we saw some really big pops. You took a couple from Gonzalez. You gave a couple as well.
That's the name of the game, I guess. Give and take a little, you know, but I don't know what to say, you know. Just had a great game, that's all.
Any specific changes that you made at halftime? I heard Coach Bushy telling you guys all together things weren't going our way in the first half. And then you guys, did you talk to Coach Bushy and say, hey, let's run some different stuff?
No, not really. We just knew the whams were working, and we just ran them down the throat. And luckily, that was my play. So I just kept running the ball, and the line just did it all. I mean, there was nothing there.
Well, it worked. Tomas Grigera, he's the man of the hour in the second half, and for York Suburban, lucky that he showed up. Congratulations.
Good job.
Thank you, Joe. Congratulations to Tomas Grigera, our Foot Locker player of the game. And when we look at our final stats, we start to swing things over to the York Suburban side. Remember, those stats were tilted toward York Catholic side at halftime. Look at the rushing yardage, 257 yards on 39 carries for the Trojans, and as we said, 233 of those belong to Tomas